Now let's continue with that story. As I indicated earlier, there seems to be some danger ahead because the country's maritime and land border with eastern neighbor Togo is also an area to be concerned about. There's dispute over the Keta Basin as to where significant volumes of oil, of course, have been discovered. Let's tackle them one after the other. Solomon Kwakume is the executive director for the Center for Natural Resources and Environmental Management. They're saying no to any production of oil in the wetland area of Keta because, according to them, it amounts to a violation of the UN Ramsay's Convention. Solomon Kwakume joins me on the line for more. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Thank you very much for your time here on the Pulse.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon to your cherished listeners.
Exactly what are the fears? Exactly what are the concerns? For which reason you are raising flags over exploring for oil in the wetlands area of the Keta Basin?
Yeah, thank you for the question, which we cannot fully address within a short time on air.
Okay.
Now, the southern Volta region, which holds the Keta Lagoon Basin, has been designated. It's a microcosm of the Niger Delta of Nigeria. The Niger Delta of Nigeria and that of the Keta Basin, which holds the Keta Lagoon, fall within the same age from millions of years ago. Now, with the opening up of the Niger Delta to oil exploration from 1956 up to date, it has reduced the people to what? They have become so desperate, stressed. The whole land has been devastated, degraded. Farmlands have been taken over. Their creeks and rivers have been polluted, bringing a lot of hunger and the rest. That has brought up the emergence of the militia in the Niger Delta because their lands, their rivers that they have been living on before 1957 have been taken over. They are mostly fishermen and farmers.
Okay.
So it's the same thing if our Keta Basin, which holds the Keta Lagoon Complex Ramsar site, which is a protected area under the Ramsar Convention and also under our own law, Wetland Management Ramsar Site Regulation 1999, it's a violation of these laws. Because if you open up the Keta Lagoon Basin onshore for oil exploration, what has happened in Nigeria cannot be ruled out, no matter what.
But the basis of your arguments, really, sir, if we have an example from which we can learn, doesn't it even give us a better chance to deal with the problems that we are likely to encounter?
Please, have you ever been to Nigeria?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever been to the Niger Delta?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever seen pictures and
Sir, please answer. Please answer the question so we can have a better understanding. What you're seeking to do is to convince people to believe in your cause.
Lady, the example near you is just 500, about 600 kilometers from our border to Nigeria. You take your team there and go and visit the Niger Delta of Nigeria and see what has happened there.
Why don't you help us, since you know, why don't you help us to understand and believe in your cause, sir?
Why don't I
help us to appreciate the situation. That's why I'm asking you all of these questions.
Yes, I'm telling you, it will not, the interview on radio or television will not help you to understand our cause. Unless we have a whole day workshop where we show you videos from all over the world where riverine areas have been subjected to Now, here is a law. Our law says that our law in Ghana, which protects Ramsar site, that says that waters there within the system will not be polluted.
Okay, sir. So I was asking you, allow me to bring in this question about. Yes. Whether or not, with the argument that you're making, isn't it easier for us to learn rather from the mistakes that Nigeria has made, so that we can put in place...
What are you going to learn?
So that we can put in place the necessary measures to make sure that we don't get to where the Niger Delta is.
Now they are telling the citizens of the southern Volta region that they are going to use a new method, which is horizontal fracking drilling system, which is even more dangerous than the vertical drilling technology. That's why I'm telling you that listeners will not understand the issue until we give them pictorial effects.
Okay. We will be doing a bit of that right after we speak to you. But what is the how old, or let me say, what is the development on your petition? We understand that you're looking to petition the United Nations on this matter.
Oh, yes, no. The Ramsar site under the world, under the management of the UNESCO. Ramsar site all over the world the management of UNESCO.
Okay.
So that's why we are, and then Ghana has been a signatory to this convention in June 1988.
Right.
So if Ghana has been a convention to this international, has entered into the convention in 1998, and not to violate the laws or the laws under the convention or the regulations, why should we now open up that place for oil exploration?
Okay.
That's the question I'm putting up. If we are if Ghana is a signatory in 1988, that place has become a protected area. And then we have also passed a law by ourselves to protect the area from such activity. Why should we now open up the place for such activity where chemicals, the waters, the rivers, the creeks, the lagoon will be polluted?
Okay. So what is the stage, what stage are you now as we speak with the petition? Have you sent it already?
No, we have not. We are preparing to go. Not only to the UNESCO. We are preparing to go because the area has been covered by a law. Okay. And we can only put our argument before the Supreme Court and give us our reasons why we feel this activity should not go on. So we are just in the preparatory stage of going to the Supreme Court and then launching our petition to Greenpeace and then UNESCO, who are managers of Ramsar sites all the world.
Okay. Do you have an idea how much oil deposits there are in this space?
Honestly, lady, there have been previous exploration from the place at Anglongan, Keta, Seva, and a whole lot of Agotwe, and a whole lot of other places by different countries. But results so far that we have gotten from experts didn't show, were not encouraging.
Okay.
The wells were plugged and abandoned.
Okay.
Honestly, there were about 13 past exploration activities that are taking place, both onshore and offshore.
Okay.
But at the time when Freni, I think a British company, which did some offshore exploration, they did the Kuda 1, they call it Kuda 1.
Right, sir. Thank you very much for your time here on the show. I've just been speaking to Solomon Kwakome. Solomon Kwakome is the executive director of CNREM. They are an environmentalist group that are very much against drilling of oil in the Keta Basin there. You've heard him speak that they're going to petition the United Nations. Let's go to the German embassy, where I've been speaking to the ambassador, who has a goodwill message for Ghana on the ITLOS ruling. Right after that, we'll engage with ASEP on what their thoughts are about Ghana-Togo relations when it comes to oil, just following what has just happened between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire.
No, Germany is not a player in the oil and gas sector here in Ghana. There are other foreign companies who are doing this. We traditionally are not strong in the sector. What we are doing is we are delivering some of the equipment, but we are not directly involved in the exploration of oil and gas. But let me, of course, congratulate Ghana to the verdict, the positive verdict that was handed down at the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea last Saturday in Hamburg. It's always good to see when neighbors and partners in the international arena are solving this kind of dispute by going to the court. You know, that's much better than taking unilateral actions and trying to solve that from a position of strength. So congratulations to Ghana.